Hey there, from the KUOW newsroom, this is Seattle Now. I'm Patricia Murphy with a roundup of today's top stories. It's Wednesday, October 29th. Starting with a big story that's rattling local tech workers, more than 2,000 of the 14,000 positions Amazon cut this week are in Washington state. Monica Nicholsberg has more.
Amazon says artificial intelligence is driving the layoffs in two ways. First, layoffs free up billions of dollars to build AI data centers. Second, AI means more work can be done with fewer people. Some Amazon employees disagree.
What's being said by the company is not totally accurate.
Marie is a machine learning engineer at Amazon. We're only using her middle name because she's afraid speaking out could cost her job. Marie signed an open letter calling for a more responsible rollout of AI at Amazon.
It's having an impact on jobs, on quality of what we produce, and on climate. The engineers, the scientists developing this do have concerns, and we shouldn't ignore that just for the profit.
Marie's job was spared in the layoffs, but she says she feels stuck at a company pushing AI too fast. Monica Nicholsberg, KUOW News.
Washington Governor Bob Ferguson says he'll move state money around to help fund food banks during the government shutdown. Ferguson says he'll direct more than $2 million a week to help people who rely on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. Those benefits are set to end November 1st due to the shutdown. More than 900,000 Washingtonians use the federal SNAP program to help buy food. Ferguson says the weekly funding will continue until federal funding is restored. The city of Seattle has unveiled new details to ban law enforcement officers from wearing masks. Part of the proposed law would involve the city's civil rights department stepping in. Gustavo Segrero has more on that story.
Under the proposal, all law enforcement officers, including federal immigration agents, will have to take their masks off and visibly display identification. That rule will apply to anyone working within Seattle city limits. Any officer who fails to follow these rules will face a $5,000 fine from the city. The city civil rights department could also follow up with a lawsuit. The ordinance has carve-outs for face coverings in certain situations, like to prevent the spread of diseases or exposure to hazardous air conditions. It also has a carve-out for undercover law enforcement. It's unclear when the city council will take up the ordinance. If passed, Seattle would become the first city in Washington to create this type of ban. Gustavo Segrero, KUOW News.
A federal trial in Portland about President Trump's authority to order National Guard troops to the city revealed they've already been on the job. According to an October 5th email submitted to the court, a 9-soldier response team was assigned to a Portland ICE facility earlier this month. Oregon Public Broadcasting reports the move appears to defy a court order issued hours earlier, which blocked their deployment. The trial is expected to last 3 days. U.S. District Court Judge Karen Immergut will examine whether the law and Constitution give the president the authority to deploy the National Guard, or whether those efforts in Portland infringe on the state's rights. France is known for its fine cuisine. A new exhibit at Seattle Art Museum explores how that came to be. Ruby DeLuna reports.
Farm to Table, Food and Identity in the Age of Impressionism features more than 50 works of noted Impressionist artists. These works depict farmers, food workers, and consumers in late 19th century France. Curator Teresa Papanicolaou says the country was coming out of a period of upheaval.
It had been taken over by the Germans in the Franco-Prussian War and occupied for, 2 years' time? Paris had suffered a revolution. There were food shortages, and French people turned to food, especially in art, as a reminder of, what makes France great.
The exhibition has also created space for visitors, complete with a dining table similar to the still life images for conversation. Seattle is the final stop on its national tour. It runs through January 18th. Ruby DeLuna, KUOW News.
The Seattle Storm has a new head coach. Sonia Rahman will take over the reins from Noel Quinn after the team decided not to renew Quinn's contract for the 2026 season. Rahman is the first head coach in the WNBA of Indian descent. Rahman used to be the assistant coach for the New York Liberty and was also an assistant for the Memphis Grizzlies in the NBA. Meanwhile, the WNBA is returning to Portland for the 2026 season after more than 2 decades. More than 15,000 season ticket deposits have already come in for the Portland Fire. From Oregon Public Broadcasting, Kyra Buckley reports on the team's new head coach.
A newcomer to the WNBA will lead the Portland Fire. Alex Sarama is currently an assistant coach with the NBA's Cleveland Cavaliers, and he spent a season with the development team associated with the Trailblazers, the Rip City Remix.
Portland is an incredible city, and it deserves an incredible WNBA team.
But Sarama and the Fire have to put together a team while the WNBA and players are negotiating a new contract. Talks have stalled over player pay, and the league has yet to announce a date for the expansion draft. Both the Portland Fire and Toronto Tempo need that draft to build their rosters. I'm Kyra Buckley, reporting.
Now, our feature story today. Tech might be the largest sector to hire foreign workers using H-1B visas, but many nonprofits also rely on the program to fill positions. The new fee associated with the visa have put organizations in a bind. It's also created a level of uncertainty for job seekers. Here's Ruby DeLuna again.
Dell thought she had a job lined up after earning a master's degree this summer at the University of Washington.
Just one light at the end of a tunnel.
Dell came to the U.S. with her family from Mongolia in 2022. Dell asked that we use her first name only because she's worried about ramifications of the new visa policy. She was excited to put her degree in medical speech-language pathology to use at Listen and Talk, a nonprofit organization in Kirkland that works with deaf or hard of hearing children.
I was always fascinated with language, and how the brain works.
Listen and Talk is also where she had done research during her program. Mona Oster, the organization's education and research director, was just as excited. It's a challenge to find someone with Dell's experience.
I knew about her prior experience working with the Global Foundation in Mongolia and doing hearing screening, and having done research here as a research assistant with the University of Washington, we got really excited.
Oster's organization uses a method known as listening and spoken language to build communication skills instead of using sign language. She acknowledges it's controversial in the deaf education community, which considers sign language crucial for language development and cultural identity. Oster says there's a range of approaches to deaf education, and ultimately families choose what works best for them and their children. Oster says there aren't many professionals who are trained in this kind of communication modality. She knew Dell would require an H-1B visa, usually reserved for skilled foreign workers with a bachelor's or advanced degrees. It wouldn't be the first time for Listen and Talk to sponsor an immigrant.
They decided to sponsor me for an H-1B visa, and that was about 18 years ago that all of that happened. So when we knew about Dell's situation, I thought, oh yeah, we can do that. We have done that before.
Oster's meeting with Dell was in September. They made plans to consult an immigration lawyer soon because Dell didn't have much time left on her student visa. Then, on September 19th, just days before the appointment with the lawyer, the White House issued a new executive order. The administration imposed a new H-1B visa fee, $100,000 for new applicants. Before the new fee, it cost $2,000 to $5,000. Panic and confusion followed. Their meeting with the lawyer provided little clarity.
So we keep going between it may not apply to maybe it will apply.
In addition to the new fee, the administration has proposed overhauling the program, arguing the system has been exploited to replace American workers with lower-paid labor. New visas are granted on a lottery system and are capped at $85,000 per year. Oster says Listen and Talk will go ahead and prepare the paperwork to start the process with a caveat.
We are absolutely not able to pay that $100,000 fee. Then we would not be able to follow through on the process.
As they wait, Dell says each passing day adds to the feeling of powerlessness.
I perfectly understood. I know my worth, right? Like, I know I deserve it, but Still, for a nonprofit that's smaller, they can't afford it, and I know that very clearly.
To complicate matters, the federal shutdown has hampered their ability to file for an H-1B visa. Ruby DeLuna, KUOW News.
Next time on Seattle Now, Seattle has a thriving community of witches and pagans. Even if you only think of them during Halloween, they're practicing year-round.
I think one of the most important things that folks should understand about magic is that it's real. It is entirely based on your intentions. And it's happening all around you, whether you're aware of it or not.
Hear more from Two Seattle Witches Thursday morning. That's all for today from the KUOW newsroom in Seattle. Our producer is Andy Hurst, and I'm Patricia Murphy. Seattle Now and KUOW are members of the NPR network. See you later.